Welcome, everybody, again. I am joined today by Brenda Kasuva, and this is another presenter session leading into our REEA conference in Myrtle Beach at the end of July. Brenda, how are you today?
I am doing well, counting my blessings.
Awesome. Well, before we came on, we were talking a little bit about what you do and why you do it, and you just had an offer accepted today, right?
I did. So I primarily do teach. I made that decision back, is it last year or the year before? No, last year. Others already knew that that's what I should be doing, but until I decided to do that, it was more of being nervous, like, how will I be able to teach and not practice? But I eventually did that last year. In fact, I think it was, yeah, January the 2nd. I sent an email to my former broker and said, I am done. And then I started my own brokerage. So that means I answer only to me. And that's a
Mhm.
wonderful feeling. Currently, just stumbled into past clients who wanted to buy a house. We just got the offer accepted. So that's exciting in terms of I have the ability to double on that side when I need to. But primarily, I am teaching right now on the heavy on the continuing education side here in the state of Maryland. I also do the professional development side that could include the NAR certificates like At Home with Diversity is my favorite, or the Buyer's Override certificate designations as well. How that leads to the YouTube side, which is where we're going to get into
Mhm.
eventually, is exam prep, helping people pass the real estate exam. That's what lights my day in terms of seeing that growth. Yes.
Absolutely. Well, first off, congratulations on being your own boss, because I think that is the dream for everybody. When you get to tell nobody but yourself what to do, congratulations on the offer. And let's talk a little bit more about that education background and how it led into YouTube, which I know it is a ubiquitous platform. Everybody uses YouTube to learn. Just last night, I spent about 2 hours myself going through one of my favorite channels, comparing it to a landing page I was building for a client. How do you use it in your educational endeavors?
Well, thank you. When it comes to YouTube, honestly, where I started is how can I stand out? And I checked all the other instructors in my market, and so that a lot of them don't have a YouTube channel. So my goal was when somebody's searching for Maryland real estate, I want to be found. And even though Maryland is a small, so at the beginning, honestly, I was stumbling like a lot of us are
Mhm.
going to do. And I had everything that you can think of in terms of education on my channel. So I had stuff like, okay, when you get your license, you need to potentially set up your online presence. So I had stuff like when you get your license and before you get your license and while you're doing exam prep. And then just learning from others. My three that I always listen to in terms of podcast are either going to be Pat Flynn, who's known as an entrepreneur on the podcasting side,
Hmm.
or what's his name? Sean Cahill, I think that's his name. And
Hmm.
then there's one more who does YouTube as well. I can't remember his name, but from learning from them, it is stick to a niche, get better at it, and YouTube will reward you. And that's where we're going to talk about it in the course. So I ended up really, really being specific in that I was only going to focus on Maryland real estate law. There are
Hmm.
others who can do national content way better than I can in terms of cadence and posting. I decided to do that. And for now, what lights me up, it is when I'm doing a continuing education class and somebody comes up and says, "Oh my goodness, Your voice was in my head when I was doing my exam. That lights up my day. Whether it's one person every class, that's all my channel is focused on. So
Mhm.
monetization and all that for me is coming as I grow, but that's not my goal. My goal is
Mhm.
just meet people, help them pass the exam, and then from there we can talk about professional development and keeping them there. So that's what I'm using my channel is to connect the dots for people like, hey, I'm starting, pass the exam, and then we shall meet in the class. Yeah, yeah.
It amazes me how many people, and you hit the nail on the head, but how many people look at social media and disconnect the social side of it. Those platforms and YouTube especially, when you have the ability to connect with another human being in real life, see that they're a living, breathing, joking, smiling person, just means you're using your social media for good in the world. And it just makes my heart sing when you say that because it's just got to be an amazing moment when you get to shake somebody's hand or give them a hug. And that kind of leads me into my next question is there one moment that stands out where you've actually met somebody and they said that you inspired them through a computer screen or through a phone screen and then it just the experience blossomed from there.
Oh yeah. So the first time that I met someone at a continuing education class and they mentioned exactly that. Yes, Brenda, you were in my head when I was taking my real estate class. And then they went on to say that when they saw my name, they signed up for the class. There are no questions about is it going to be a good class or not because they've been hearing my voice while they are taking the exam. So you build, I guess, for lack of a better word, maybe that trust factor that, okay, I know what she's about. I'm okay with it. And I'm going to check out what else is there.
Hmm.
So that's what I've been experiencing. And the first time I was like, oh, okay. I guess it is working. Recently, the one that I experienced just maybe 2 weeks ago is a lady who's probably for distance, I guess for distance sake, she's maybe 2.5 hours away from me. And so she calls, she's like, I can't come to Baltimore. How is it you're able to help me? She's an attorney,
Hmm.
and therefore she's also embarrassed to claim that she's an attorney and she's not passing the real estate exam. And
Yep.
so she somehow found me online looking for, because all she has to do in our state of Maryland, since she's an attorney, she doesn't need to take a class. They're given the benefit of the doubt. They just need to go and pass the exam, but she's struggling with passing the exam. So she reaches out and she's like, "Oh my goodness, I've been stalking you. I can't believe I got to talk to you." And I'm like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "You have no idea." So to connect the story is she happens to have a very good friend who's already a real estate broker. Now,
Mhm.
this lady who's an attorney is also going to be a broker. So the two friends are talking, and the one who called me, we'll call her Debbie. So Debbie is like, yeah, I was having dinner with my friend. We'll call the friend Lisa. And I told Lisa how I met Brenda, and then they exchange showing each other, okay, this is Brenda. And then the next day after that dinner, guess who's in my class? Lisa. Lisa is taking a broker course that I am teaching. So she takes pictures and brags to her friend, what did I name her? Debbie, and says, guess what? You can't have this. She is right in front of me and teaching a class. So these two ladies are having a moment where they, and so Debbie sharing this with me over the phone, and I'm like, oh my goodness, that was amazing for me. That
So
was amazing.
I am interviewing right now a
Yes.
bona fide, famous YouTube viral star. Done.
In
Over with.
Maryland,
I
yeah,
win.
let me not make myself small. Yeah, in Maryland and coming soon everywhere. Yes.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, so that was my, yes, that was a different experience for sure.
It and it again, it goes back to why social media, whatever form of social media, right? I mean, Facebook and YouTube and Instagram and TikTok, they're all different platforms. They all do different things, but still the power comes behind connecting with somebody in real life
Mhm.
and being able to just say, I'm a YouTube star, baby. Congratulations, Brenda. That
Oh my
that is a
goodness.
feat that a lot of us want to achieve.
I can't even claim it yet, but I will. I will. I can't claim it yet. Yeah, it's still weird for me, but yes, yes.
Well, looking forward to your session, which we all know now is taught by a viral YouTube star. What nugget can you give us about your session? What can everybody look forward to walking in that room and receiving from you?
I'll go back to the title, which is learning the you. YouTube will teach you.
Hmm.
All the others, really, I will say, and I explore all of them. You can get away with a lot on the others. It's very not the word basic. It's very broad, and you can get
Hmm.
away with a lot. YouTube will teach you what is it that you really want to pay attention to in order for you to get rewarded. So you really have to focus on what is or why is it that I am doing this for you to keep go coming back,
Hmm.
because it takes a minute, not even a moment, a while
Yes.
before you start seeing like, okay, this makes sense. And when I say a while, my dear, who's watching this, and you're like, why would I come to this class? I'm just preparing you. It could be 3, 6 months. There are people who will brag that they made it after 6 months, but still, that's a long time. It's like you doing your prospecting and mailing something. You don't do it once and give up. You have to keep coming back and doing it. YouTube is one of those that you will learn to be patient and
Hmm.
try different things. Maybe for some of us, and it took me a while before I accepted what I sound like and what I look like. Even though I teach, the moment I started doing video, it's like, no, no, I can't do
Hmm.
that. No, no. So there's a lot of that you have to get over, because that's how you sound. That's how you look. So then you have to be forgiven, and YouTube will train you on that, but it's rewarding in my opinion. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, like I said, anybody that walks into your course, they will learn that you are a YouTube star and you will help them at least see the path to how they can become one in their own right. Brenda, it has been awesome spending a few minutes with you today. Thanks for joining us on this interview session. And if you're interested in learning from the world class viral star that is Brenda Kasuva, you can join us at the REEA conference at the end of July in Myrtle Beach. The
Yes.
show is going to be fantastic. Jennifer Nicely and the entire REEA family has an amazing conference set up for us. And Brenda, like you were saying, you've been there a couple of times before, so this is going to be another round on the block for you. But
Yeah.
I don't know if you've been to Myrtle Beach yet. So if not
No.
for the REEA conference, we're all going to have some fun and we're going to learn a lot of wonderful things. Early bird rates are going on right now. So make sure to lock in your early bird rate to spend time with Brenda and all of us at REEA. Brenda, again, can't say enough. This has been a wonderful moment of my day. Thank you for sharing it with me.
Thank you so much, Robert. Thank you.